Trump isn't a fan of imports? He just added 25% taxes to all imported foreign vehicles of non-domestic make. Suddenly, that GTT's looking a lot more affordable. Man, I thought Trump was a car guy, but I guess the heck with the free market. Automotive enthusiasts? Pretty disappointing. I mean, I thought he was the chosen one.
I am the chosen one.
You are the chosen one!
Hey all, I'm Tom the Racing Joker, and we're having some fun with this latest bit of news on Vroom News. Vroom News! Vroom News! Vroom News! Vroom News! So this is going to be an interesting video to make because politics and talking about presidents, specifically by name, is always just something that never causes any kind of unrest in the comments ever. So this will be interesting. This isn't me giving my opinion on Trump or his presidency or previous presidents or really anything. I might not even give my opinion on the tariffs to its fullest extent, but I just thought it'd be neat to share this with you guys because it's recent events and it impacts people wanting to import cars like Nissan Skyline GTRs or GTTs. Let me just get right into the meat and potatoes. No idea what that accent was. Trump has added, on top of all the other existing like importation fees and other taxes, Trump has added a 25% tariff to all imported foreign make vehicles. So anything that isn't domestic that is landing on our soil from other countries will the person importing it will have to pay 25% the value of that vehicle in order to claim it from the shipyard or whatever. And so for trucks, that's on top of the already existing 25% chicken tax as it is. I learned that from Sean Morris, who also sent me the order here. It goes into effect, I think it's April 3rd, sometime in April. Doesn't really matter. And for regular like passenger vehicles, on top of the existing 2.5% is another 25, so it's 27.5%. So that basically means, in layman terms, let's say you find an R34 GTR for $100,000. You're never going to find one that cheap, but for $100,000, you find an R34 GTR, and when it arrives in the US, you are going to have to pay $27,500. And now you might be thinking, but that doesn't make sense. It's not a new vehicle. I thought Trump was doing this to help the economy and, invigorate production on U.S. soil. Well, whether that's his true motivation or not, you can kind of speculate because there's no guarantee, especially since this is apparently under the guise of protecting national security. What you're looking at here is an Avengers-level terrorist threat. So, no. As far as I know, it's new cars and used cars. It doesn't matter if the car is 25 years old or not. I'm seeing a lot of people arguing about it on Instagram, YouTube, and all that stuff. I really just haven't seen any official written language from the White House that actually says it's only for newly manufactured cars, because that would make more sense. I mean, that would still kind of suck. I mean, I don't know why, but there are some people who you may describe as neophytes, for some reason think this is just a good idea all around, and they don't seem to realize that regular people are going to be paying the tax and not the companies that you think are going to get taxed. Like, so for instance, let's go to the dealership I used to work at and got fired from. I think they have a Nissan Z. New vehicles. Why am I using Yahoo? What kind of fucking Neanderthal uses Yahoo? They still have a Z. Oh, it's the one that was there when I was there. Okay, so let's say this is a 2025 or 2026, and Nissan is sending the car into the country. Now, without the tax and all the extra fees, the MSRP of this car is $54,660 for this Nissan Z, just as an example. Now, with the extra 25%, it's more expensive. So, when this Nissan Z shows up in the US, a tariff of $13,665 will have to be paid on the car's approximate value of $54,660. Sorry, my voice cracked. Now you think, okay, it's fine. Nissan's just paying the tariff. No. Whoever buys the car is paying the tariff. So what would happen is Nissan would just add that to the total price. Because otherwise no one's making any money. Suddenly, suddenly, a $54,000 car costs nearly $70,000. And now, we might get a few lobotomy patients in the comments that are just going to say, well, why don't you just buy American? But what if you don't want to? What about the free market? Like, why don't you just buy American, man? Well, I think because I might rather have a BMW M4 or an M3 over a twin-turbo Dodge Charger. I mean, ask yourself, what sounds like more fun? V8? BMW M5? Well, maybe not the new one. That's a bad example. I mean, which would you rather have? A twin-turbo 6-cylinder Dodge Charger Daytona?
Huh?
Which is just a horrible idea. Or a Nissan Z or a GR Supra? Would you rather have a Nissan GTR or a Tesla? Would you rather have a Lexus 500 or an EV Cadillac CT5? Or maybe, just maybe, you want a Toyota 4Runner or the new Land Cruiser over the new Bronco. You know, that one's kind of more of a stretch, I get that, but it's all about the choice and your preference, right? Wrong. It's pretty wild. Everything just got more expensive. Like, so let's go to top rank, because Sean Morris is, I would say, he's going to be the one at the forefront of giving us the most recent reliable information on these tariffs. He doesn't agree with them. He thinks that saying the tariffs are here to protect national security is ridiculous, and it will hurt Americans more than help them. It's more so just a headline for his followers to go, yeah, he's doing stuff. He's doing more stuff than the last presidency, which is true, but he's also going to be doing a fair bit of damage. Unless if there's fine print in here that says it's just for the companies and just for the new cars. I mean, it's still pretty bad, but, you know, who knows how permanent this is? We're just going to have to find out. But I'm going to go to the top rank Japan inventory, and we're going to look at some of their cars. So let's just see here. So they have a 2001 R34. Can't import that yet. You can import it next year for $124,000. Get me off of Yahoo, Jesus. Get me off of Yahoo. You will have to pay, when that car arrives at the port, $31,000. Turning this $124,000 car into a $155,000 car. And that doesn't include all the taxes you're going to be paying for, and all the fees for registration and all that stuff. Doesn't include any of that. Let's see, what else have we got? We got a $190,000 car, $180,000. We got an M-Spec NER here. All right? This car, the last time I saw one of these listed on their website, it was for $350,000. And given today's market, that's actually a pretty fair price. So when your M-Spec NER shows up in the US, you're going to have to pay a fee of $87,500, turning your very nice M-Spec NER into a $437,000 car. But now, here's the thing that I think is so interesting about it. He's not just taxing regular folk too. He's also making all of his wealthy friends, I'd imagine, pay even more money for their cars. Should they buy an exotic overseas and have it shipped over here? Or buy an exotic up in Canada and have it shipped down here? If it applies to all vehicles, including used ones, like say, for instance, I was like, I can find a good deal for a car in Canada because of our currency being a little stronger than theirs. You know, I could go and buy an exotic car for a really good deal, but then I end up paying like almost $100,000 in tariffs. Kind of defeats the purpose. Like, let's say, like imagine if, let's say one of his friends buys a McLaren F1, $20 million. I'm on freaking Yahoo. Grr! Suddenly, Trump's best friend, whoever they may be, unnamed, if they were to buy a McLaren F1, they'd have to pay his government $5 million. It's so much money. Oh my God. Holy cow. I don't know. I mean, if it only affects new cars, I can make peace with that a little bit. I mean, it'll suck even with the new car thing because I like to buy cars like Toyotas. I like Lexus. I like BMW. Would I buy a new BMW? Probably not. But like our van, for instance, was like a $50,000 van. You're telling me, Mr. President, that if I want to buy my wife the minivan she wants with the features she likes, I have to give your government nearly $13,000 or more? The car has to be that much more expensive? All because we want more cars made in America, because that's apparently the motivation. I don't know. It's rough, bro. It's rough. But I did send a message to the White House asking for clarification, politely as well. Like, I wasn't memeing or raging or flipping out all over the place, but I sent an email to the White House. And the reason why I even bothered is because I did one during the Biden administration presidency, and I actually got a response. I mean, the response sucked, but I got a response. So let's see, for one, if we get a response from President Trump and if his response sucks or not. Because all he has to do to beat the last response I got is actually acknowledge what I'm talking about in the email. I don't know. On the upside, it doesn't affect foreign-made cars that are already in the US. Well, that's good, at least. It would be outrageous if you started taxing the sales of foreign-made cars. That would be ridiculous. I don't think he would do that, but anything is possible. But yeah, I didn't want to make this video too long. I've already been talking for 23 minutes. So this has been today's episode of Vroom News, the second episode ever. I'm recording this the day before it comes out. That's how big of a deal this is. I just punched my desk. I'm Tom, the Racing Joker. This has been Vroom News, and I'll see you all next time. Seek peace and victory, and bye-bye.